on, man. Grab the rope. 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 Grab tight. Wrap it around your fucking hand.
Just getting out the tent. I heard some screaming going, help! Help!
Some places turn dangerous in an instant, whether it's frozen landscapes or deep, silent forests. A man races against time to find his younger brother buried beneath an avalanche. While deep in the woods, a strange sound cuts through the darkness. When you're surrounded by the unknown, would you keep your composure or let fear take over? In this footage, a man makes a desperate decision that nearly costs him his life, returning to his truck as it sinks through broken ice. After climbing out of the vehicle, bystanders rush over to help him.
Jesus.
You're good. Get this way. Roll this way. Right?
Holy shit.
He gets to his feet and moves back toward the truck. People nearby shout for him to stay away. He ignores them and crawls underneath the vehicle, trying to get back inside.
Don't go out. Hey, don't go out there. Don't go out. You can't do nothing for him now. Here's your hat. It's gone. You're getting that thing out of there. You gotta stay away from that hole. You're gonna go in. That's 12 feet deep. Hey!
Dude, you're gonna go in.
You ain't getting nothing out of there. What are you doing?
That thing's sinking, man. Get out of there.
Go.
It's gonna go down fast here in a second.
Get the fuck out of there,
Dude, get out of there.
Don't get too close to him. Hey, give me the rope. God, get the fuck out of there. Get out of your truck, man. God, it's sinking.
Eventually, he starts climbing out again, and the strangers reach toward him. But the truck is already sinking deeper, disappearing quickly beneath the shattered surface.
Jesus Christ.
Come here. Come on, man. Grab the rope. 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 Grab tight. Wrap it around your fucking hand. Got him. Got him. Slide him off. Somebody call a fucking cops?
Yeah, that's what that...
Yeah.
Get him back. That's still sinking right there.
Come on, man. Come on, bro. You gotta come this way. That's a crack right there. It's gone. A little bit. All right. Get up, get your hands off the truck, man.
The driver is left stunned, trying to process what just happened. When ice gives way beneath you, time seems to vanish. By the time you understand the danger, you're already watching what you tried to save slip under the water. In moments like this, it's hard to tell whether instinct or emotion is in control. Would you have stepped away or made the same risky choice? On March 20th, 2021, 25-year-old Forrest, scored a rate, and his 22-year-old brother Lake were skiing with friends in the mountains of the Swiss canton of Valais in the Valdine Valley near the village of St. Luc. Both were wearing GoPros and recording their descent when a massive avalanche suddenly broke loose, catching them completely off guard. What followed is deeply disturbing. Lake was buried deep beneath the snow, while Forrest somehow remained on the surface. Forrest was also carried by the avalanche, but remarkably, he was not fully covered. When he finally came to a stop and looked back, his brother was nowhere to be seen. Panic set in. From that moment on, time was critical. He knew he had to find Lake immediately. In avalanche rescues, every minute matters. The longer someone stays trapped under snow, the lower their chances of survival. What followed was a desperate race against time driven by fear, adrenaline, and the determination to save his brother before it was too late.
Il est où, Lake? Il est où, Lake? Il est où, Lake? Non! Les gars! Eh, je me mets en recherche! Appelle les secours, je me mets en recherche! Appelle les secours! J'ai un signal! Go. On drop! Lake, on va te sortir de là! Ouais. Et toi, si jamais tu le rallumes, si j'ai rien.
Appelle l'hélico, hein. Lek, on est là, Lek. C'est bon, il est là, on y va. Lek, je vais te sauver, je te promets. Je te le promets, Lek, on est là. Sors tout.
Je l'ai, creuse.
Ok. Lek, on est là. On t'aime.
Fortunately, both brothers were equipped with Avalanche transceivers, a choice that proved essential. It was the most important preparation they had made. Forrest quickly switched his beacon into search mode and locked onto the signal coming from beneath the snow. The readings on the device guided him directly to his buried brother. With help from another nearby skier, they began digging right away. Time was everything. Every second felt longer, especially as Lake remained unresponsive under the snow.
Lake, tu restes calme. Reste calme, Lake. Allez, Lake. Reste calme. Reste calme, Lake.
On est en train de le trouver là, on est en train
Ça
de
marche.
regarder.
Il est plus haut.
Vas-y. Allez, Lake.
Lake, creuse, j'arrive pas.
Ah oui,
Lake, tu nous entends?
putain. Débrouille là. Allez les gars.
Ouais. Ah, Lake, reste calme. Même si tu nous entends, reste calme.
Enlève la bouche. Ah, il bouge. Je l'ai vu bouger.
Lake, tu m'entends?
Ça va, Lake?
Dis-moi juste quelque chose. Réponds-moi, Lake.
On déblaye bien, on fait une place.
L'hélico, il arrive. Tu restes avec moi, ok? Et respire.
On fait une plateforme devant nous là, et on fait un
Lake, reste
demi-tour.
calme.
Thankfully, they reached Lake in time. He had only lost consciousness briefly, and after being pulled out, he soon regained awareness.
Maintenant, calmos. Voilà. L'épaule, ça va? Maintenant, tu vas te mettre comme...
This video shows how quickly conditions can change in the mountains, and how preparation can quietly determine the outcome. In moments like that, there's no time to hesitate. If you were in his position, would you stay calm enough to act, or would panic take over? In this footage, we're seeing some of the most disturbing blizzard scenes captured across North America, where severe weather left people stranded freezing and struggling to get through it. In 2021, a powerful winter storm hit the south. Then, in early 2026, it happened again in January. In January 2026, Jonathan Petramala on YouTube recorded footage showing the damage affecting Mississippi and Nashville.
You guys hit a drift?
Yeah, we're stuck.
So he's going to put the mats underneath your tire,
Okay.
and then that's going to hopefully give you traction.
Yeah.
Is try to punch out through the back.
Okay.
Okay? So it's really cool. This gentleman literally is stuck a few dozen yards up this road. Their tires to hopefully help get them unstuck. ¿Puede prestarme tu shovel? Can I borrow your shovel? To their car? All right, let's see if we can get this.
Okay.
Gracias. Momentum forward.
And
And
get that.
exactly. This Good Samaritan helping. They don't have gloves. It just takes a few minutes for frostbite to set in, and they've been out here a lot more than a few minutes. Hey! Thank you.
Thank you.
So what happens is these roads are actually some of the most dangerous type of roads when it comes to winter driving. It causes you to have a little bit of wobble, and if you're going too fast, of course, you're going to lose it. You don't have a lot of experience, you're in two-wheel drive, you don't have good tires. I mean, there's so many different circumstances. You know, paths where the tires have grooves, where the tires, I guess there was a truck behind us sliding. And this is arguably some of the most dangerous times to drive in a winter storm, is right at the beginning when there's not a lot of snow. Snow actually does help to give you traction. What happens is cars get stuck because they're maybe going up on a hill and they lose momentum, and there's too much snow in the interstates and highways. That's really what I've noticed in the past is the most dangerous type of driving is when it is just this slushy snow.
4 years without major snowfall can create a false sense of security. It became the second longest snow drought in Boston's history, and it was evident on the roads. Storms like this don't just challenge the weather, they challenge decision making. Small choices on the road can change everything in an instant. This footage comes from Dando's Retro, a UK-based YouTube channel centered on immersive camping and paranormal exploration. On October 3rd, 2024, the crew set out to Witchwood Forest in the United Kingdom for an overnight investigation.
But it sounds like the rain's coming back. We might go back into the tents. So if you want to make yourself known before we get back in the tents, this is your last chance.
In fact, we might not even be around much longer because the fire's dying down with normal firewood. If you can, make a noise. I mean, the most notorious entity of this place is either the demon, which I don't know much history about, or Amy. Amy, if you're around, We would love to speak to you. You can make a noise for us.
Anything at all, good or bad, let us know either way. But we are going to get back in this tent.
Great. Comes the rain again.
Let the fire die out, trying to dry off.
Good 5 minutes as well.
Yeah. Very disappointing.
Oh, this is a bit of a bust.
Yeah.
Shame, I was expecting so much more.
You got 1 minute. Like, I'm going to walk over to the REM pod and start turning things off in a minute.
Rain's died down.
Yeah. Strange, right? Hold on.
Please tell me you heard that as well.
I did. Hello? So, what was that?
As the night went on, the environment began to take over. Rain moved in steadily, the temperature dropped, and the fire that had been anchoring the campsite started to fade. The light became unreliable, and the forest around them felt noticeably darker as visibility pulled back. They held their position, but the mood had shifted. Earlier in the night, there had been genuine attempts to make contact questions directed outward equipment running, and a sense that something might actually respond.
Is that you? Are you near the REM pod or the music box?
Bro, no, listen to me. That sounded like a laugh.
Yeah, well, I thought.
It sounded like someone sniggering.
Do you like it that we're stuck in the rain? And
I swear to God, the audio has to have picked that up. Has to have. It literally sounded.
Play it back.
Thought I saw a shadow up there then on that the line of the hill.
Cool.
It's like it was laughing. Something was laughing at us because of the rain.
Then the silence broke. It began faint, the kind of thing that could easily be missed if they had not already been paying close attention. A sound drifted in from somewhere deeper in the trees, almost like a quiet snicker. Not rain, not wind. Something that didn't belong to the environment around them. They stopped mid-conversation and listened. It was just clear enough to notice, but not clear enough to identify. And the shift in energy was immediate.
Oh, what is that? What was that?
Like a scream.
Oh. What? Is that a light coming up there? Where? Over there. Is that like a light?
Is that somebody stood there? Am I seeing things?
No, bro. No, I think you're seeing things. Yeah. I heard that.
Yeah. Could be an animal.
But it's hard to identify things because of the rain.
Yeah.
I'm going to start packing some of the paranormal stuff up just because I don't want to get it wet.
Yeah.
Now.
As the first signs of daylight approached, the session came to an end. The rain had not stopped, visibility was still poor, and the equipment had not produced anything consistent. Those sounds never developed into anything conclusive. The fire was left, the gear was packed, and the site went quiet again. The forest gave them almost nothing for hours, then delivered 2 unexplained sounds right before the end. Whether the weather had anything to do with what they heard is one way to interpret it, but it doesn't completely explain it either. Do you think those sounds had a natural cause, or is it the kind of thing that just doesn't make sense no matter how long you think about it? The final account of the night comes from Moxley's Paranormal World, a UK-based solo paranormal investigation channel built around overnight camping in remote and natural settings. On April 15th, 2026, the investigators set up camp beside a rural lake in a parkland area of the United Kingdom. The site was fully arranged, the fire had burned low, and the world around him had gone completely still. The only sounds came from the water and the open fields nearby. Nothing was moving, nothing appeared wrong, but the location carried a sense of weight. Local claims and rumors tied to that lake meant even the silence felt like it was holding something back.
With what sound like, and this the only way I can describe it, was a bunch of teenagers shouting and screaming. I've had a look in the back, there's nobody there. I've not been over the other side yet. Look at that.
He stayed where he was and listened. Then the lake changed. Splashing began coming from out on the water, not scattered or random, but consistent enough to draw attention. Something was happening in a specific direction, and it stood out clearly against everything else.
Abandoned. What's abandoned? Were you abandoned out here in the lake? It said there's a creature out here.
Energy.
Energy.
Unity.
Unity. Energy, unity.
Wow.
Wow. So, Who is this creature? What is...
My body lies close by.
Oh, your body lies close by. Is that what people are mistaking you for? Thinking you're a creature, but you're not a creature.
I remember how I died.
Okay.
Help me, please.
Wow, okay, right. This is why I do enjoy the Spirit Talker.
Visitor.
Because, I don't know, some stuff just seems very much relevant to where you come to. Do you tell me your name?
Wait and see.
Wait and see. You're going to come out the water? You're going to show yourself to me? Are you buried?
Soon after, his spirit app started producing responses at an unusual rate. Words came through rapidly overlapping and fragmenting without pause.
Can you make a noise? Can you shout? Let me hear your voice.
Please move forward.
Right, so I'm literally looking. I'll show you where I'm looking. So I'm looking here. Please move forward. You want me to walk down here towards the planks?
Acceptance.
Acceptance. Oh my goodness.
Please go left.
I almost fell in there then. Please go left.
Watch out for evil.
What was that? Watch out for evil. Is there something evil out here?
The tone then shifted. The responses moved toward warnings, references to harm, and something described as a threatening presence. He remained there, trying to determine whether any of it connected to the sounds from the water.
Here for about an hour and a half. What's going on what? It's going on 1:30 in the morning. And I was half asleep, doing in that bit of a phase where you're half asleep, half not asleep. Yeah, it's out in the middle. And I thought I heard footsteps outside, so I just lay here. And then, straight past the tent, it sounded like somebody walked past. No noise, no nothing. So I've jumped up, didn't even pull the camera, just jumped up, got the torch, unzipped the tent, looking out. There's nobody there.
Later, while resting in the tent, footsteps passed directly outside. Close, immediate, impossible to ignore. He checked. Nothing was there. No movement, no figure, no explanation. Just the sound followed by silence.
Is someone screaming? Somebody's screaming. I'm just getting out of the tent. I heard some screaming going, "Help! Help!"
Then came the clearest moment of the entire night. A voice cut through, sharp and urgent, followed by a whistle. It didn't blend into the background. It felt directed and real, the kind of sound that demands attention. Yet he left the campsite and moved toward the water to locate the source. The sound had come from a specific direction, but when he arrived, there was nothing. No person, no movement, only darkness and open water. The environment shifted once more after that. Mist began forming across the surface of the lake, subtle, but adding another layer to a night that had already built up enough tension. Every time something pointed him in a direction, the trail went cold the moment he reached it. The voice especially, that is the part that is hardest to ignore. Do you think there was actually someone out on that lake, or does everything that happened that night point to something else entirely? On December 2nd, 2024-year-old hunting YouTuber Zeb Cox was out deer hunting in Vermont the day after Thanksgiving, just after the region had received 6 inches of fresh snow, ideal conditions for tracking. He started the morning by carefully reading the ground, analyzing fresh sign to understand where deer had been feeding and where they might be bedding.
An hour so far, and I just came to a barnyard. Tracks everywhere. Looks like they've been feeding in here after it snowed. There's no snow on any of the tracks, so I'm gonna work my way through here and try to sort this out, and hopefully I can find the tracks leaving out of here, get on them and track them down. Well, I just got it all sorted out. I actually saw the deer. It was a doe and a fawn. They saw me, took off up the hill. There was nothing else with them, and I just came up here and checked, and it's just those 2 tracks coming out of here. So I'm gonna continue on my way. It's still early, so I'm not in a big rush.
Early on, he spotted recent activity near a barnyard and followed the most promising tracks deeper into the woods, noting sightings of a doe and a fawn before continuing on alone. As he moved farther in the terrain, became more challenging with steep hills, deep snow, and limited visibility. But Zeb kept going, confident deer would be holding just beyond the next ridge. After circling the mountain, he eventually picked up a fresh track and followed it slowly and quietly for nearly half a mile, using the favorable wind to his advantage as he closed the distance.
It's 9 o'clock. Right when I got up here, I found a set of old tracks heading right through the saddle, going down. I'm not gonna follow them. I'm just gonna keep working my way, pretty much the opposite way that this deer went. I'm gonna work my way around the mountain and back down the other side. Just working my way back down this mountain. I just came across a smoking fresh track. I'm gonna get on it and I'm gonna move as quietly as possible. Go nice and slow. Hopefully I can get a crack at him. I'll let you guys know how I make out. Been following him for probably a half a mile. I just came to a spot where he was feeding. There's a few others. You could see where he was nipping the buds off. These little saplings. Seems like I'm making some good progress, so I'm just gonna keep on moving at the same speed and be nice and quiet. Right now the wind's in my favor, so that's good. And I'm hoping I can catch up to him. See.
When he finally took his shot and fired, the forest went silent for a brief moment until the wounded deer suddenly charged directly at him, antlers lowered, missing him by only inches. Zeb managed to fire again and survived the encounter, but the danger had already become clear. In deep snow on steep terrain, even one impact from those antlers could have been fatal, leaving little chance of escape or rescue. The incident serves as a stark reminder that even a successful hunt can turn dangerous in seconds, raising the question of whether this was a rare case of animal behavior or proof that tracking wounded game always carries risks hunters can never fully control. That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story, share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.